Coming up, a mass shooting in River North. Diddy's court case comes to a close. New taxes come to Illinois. Plus, an alleged chop shop busted on the South Side. NASCAR brings cars and food. And a TikTok sensation steps into the studio. This is your Fox 32 Week in Review.
Welcome to Good Day Chicago at 9 a.m. We are continuing to follow breaking news this morning as 4 people have died and 14 others hurt after a mass shooting in River North.
Our Nate Rogers is live near the River North bar where this happened last night. Nate?
Absolutely, Brian, Natalie, good morning to the both of you. We're still trying to figure out what exactly happened here, what led up to this horrific mass shooting in River North. Was it a previous altercation that occurred or even a fight inside of this establishment? Right now, we don't know. What we do know, confirmed by Chicago police, is that 18 people were shot, 4 of them killed. The victims' ages range from 21 to 31 years old. This is a look at the scene from overnight. Chicago police tell us a dark-colored vehicle drove past the location. Someone pulled out a gun and started shooting as people were standing outside. Victims were seen running for cover. Now, it's unknown still at this hour if there were multiple shooters or just a lone gunman. When we arrived around 3 a.m., the sidewalk was littered with blood, shoes, clothing, and other items. The shooting happened right here at the Artist Restaurant and Lounge. It's located 311 West Chicago Avenue, just after 11 o'clock last night. And we did learn that local artist Mellow Buckets had a listening party at this location prior to the shooting. We did speak earlier to street pastor Donovan Price, who was at the scene moments after gunshots rang out. He also visited multiple hospitals where victims were taken. Take a listen.
This 4th of July weekend, we all know, can be a violent weekend. People need to definitely be careful where they're going, maybe even rethink where they're going and where they're hanging out. There are some places, not to say this place, but there are some places that you have to watch out for. There are some scenes and crowds. You are a target for the person in that crowd that has beef with anybody else. And so you have to watch that. You have to watch who you hang out, or maybe it's time to make your circle smaller and maybe stay home and have a small, intimate barbecue at home or something.
The rapper Mellow Buckets on Instagram saying, quote, "Prayers up for all of my sisters. God, please wrap your arms around every last one of them." Now, I will tell you, within the last hour or so, we did see the property manager come to this location, still trying to access the building. We asked her about surveillance cameras. She said that the tenant, the owners of Artist Restaurant and Lounge, they maintain surveillance cameras that may have captured the gunmen that are involved. Chicago police telling us at last check that no suspects are in custody. Again, 18 people shot in this shooting overnight, 4 of them killed. I'll now send it to my colleague, Gabriella Primus, who's been at the hospital all morning long with more on the victims. Gabby, good morning.
Nate, good morning. You know, I hear about the scene near you in River North, and it sounds like, from what people have said here, that it was just as chaotic and scary for people waiting for answers here at Northwestern. 18 people were transferred to area hospitals, and we still wait for an update from police on the conditions of the 14 people who were injured. Police say 9 came here to Northwestern, some to Mount Sinai, as well as Stroger and Illinois Masonic as well. As we know, 2 men and 2 women were killed in this mass shooting. One of the women killed was sent here to Northwestern. We talked to her family. Her name is Taylor Walker, and she's 26 years old. Her family told us that she was shot in the chest last night. They and other families got the call around 11:30 about the shooting. Taylor's family, they hung around this hospital from around 11:30 to past sunrise, and they're still awake, already singing her praises and remembering her. Most of the injured females are in their 20s and 30s. 3 of the 14 injured are males. Let's talk about their conditions. 9 are listed in good condition, 1 in fair condition, 1 in serious condition, and 3 are in critical condition. According to the report, the injuries span from wounds to the limbs, face, and back. Here's Pastor Donovan Price describing the scene at the hospitals.
The scenes there were almost as chaotic as here, of people trying to find their loved ones, if their loved ones were at that hospital, trying to find information. Some people hurt themselves still. It was, the city just was not a place to be. It felt bad to be in Chicago last night, but we can make it through. We can heal. We need to pray, though.
And really, prayers are the main thing that they're asking for. I was told that it seemed like there was hundreds of people outside of the emergency room here at Northwestern early this morning, again, waiting for those answers. I walked around the block a couple times to see if any family was still hanging around in the last couple of hours. I didn't see anyone. Hopefully they're getting the rest that they need to continue to keep going and to continue to ask for answers.
And breaking news for you, Sean Diddy Combs has been denied bail while he awaits sentencing for his sex crimes case.
Earlier today, a jury convicted him on 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution, but they cleared him of racketeering, conspiracy, and sex trafficking. While he avoids life in prison, each conviction still carries up to 10 years in prison.
We would have liked to have seen a conviction on the sex crimes in RICO, but we're just pleased that he still faces substantial jail time.
Combs' defense team plans to appeal the verdicts. They argue the sexual encounters were consensual.
Justin Carter is an award-winning journalist and investigative reporter for The Shade Room. He's joining us now to give us his perspective of covering this trial. Justin, thanks so much for joining us.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
Okay, so you were in this courtroom pretty much every day of this trial. What was the reaction in the room as that verdict was read? Kind of paint a picture for us.
Yes. So, yes, the judge, he instructed the jury to come forward and reveal to us what the verdict was. At 9:52, they came up with that decision. And I will say there was a roar, an immediate roar when they especially read that it was a not guilty verdict for that count 1, that RICO charge, which is, of course, the heaviest. And then we heard the count 2, which was not guilty as well, for the sex trafficking charge in relation to Cassie Ventura. And then, of course, another roar, a lot of hand clapping. As you can see here, fists. Diddy had a fist balled up. He was happy. And then count 3 was read guilty. And, you know, some of that excitement started to dwindle a little bit, I will say. And then we heard another not guilty and then another guilty. So, you know, I think he was processing. Of course, you can see him kneeling. He's thankful that, of course, that big RICO charge was a not guilty verdict. But outside the courtroom, I will say it was thunderous. It was chaotic. People splashing baby oil on each other in excitement for this verdict. And on the other side of things, there were some people, too, that were upset. There was a lot of arguing between people who were on Diddy's side and people who were not on Diddy's side. So I will say it was just a very chaotic situation.
Were you surprised at all by this verdict?
I was not necessarily surprised. I knew, just being a reporter, I knew that the prosecution basically gave us the receipts. They laid out the transportation of a prostitute. They laid out those charges pretty clearly. We got the receipts from the hotel. We got bank records. We got travel records. That was a pretty clear picture. What we all were iffy about, at least at the Shade Room, was the sex trafficking charge and, of course, the RICO charge. It really, really, honestly, in my opinion, depended on how the jury felt. They were swayed, and clearly they were, you know, persuaded in that direction of not guilty.
And then finally, his children were there in the courtroom. They sat through and listened to a lot of this testimony. What was his demeanor during that? What was their demeanor? Because it had to be extremely uncomfortable.
Oh, yes. I saw tears. I saw smiles today as they entered the courtroom and left the courthouse today. His mother this is something interesting too. Just in the last few hours, there is a common area. It's interesting in court. Really, we don't have our cell phones, but we're all passing each other. We're using the same bathrooms. We're using the same cafeteria. We're ordering the same food at the same stand. So a lot of times we are standing or sitting next to members of the family and friends. And Janet Combs, after the verdict was read, she was basically giving people hugs in the courthouse cafeteria. And she came up to me and I asked her how she was, and she says, "I felt wonderful." And that was her quote.
Well, Justin Carter with the Shade Room, thank you so much for joining us.
Fox 32 has obtained video of this terrifying incident. Police say a driver failed to stop and then crashed into them. However, the video tells a much different story.
Tia Ewing shares the new details.
Officer and Monroe, we're involved in all accident. I need help, please.
This new scanner audio reveals just how chaotic the crash really was. 29-year-old Mercedes Nunez was driving a Chevy Equinox westbound on Monroe late last month. She says she heard sirens just before the collision.
Legally, you're supposed to stop when you see or hear the sirens, and that's what I did. I pressed the brake, and I looked both ways. And then I woke up in the ambulance.
According to the detailed police report, Nunez slowed down but didn't fully stop, continuing through the intersection and crashing into a marked Chicago police cruiser at Monroe and Costner.
That's the other side of the road. Why are they driving on the other side of the road? I also looked at the video and I noticed that none of those vehicles were pushed to the side. So they sped through. And none of these, no vehicle saw them. I was just the one in the way.
So when they hit you, you automatically fell unconscious?
Immediately.
Surveillance video from a nearby corner store referenced in the report captures the crash. A city pod camera also recorded it. The report says body-worn camera footage exists and been reviewed. In video obtained by Fox 32, a marked squad car appears to go around a group of stopped vehicles at a stop sign. We've confirmed the officers had lights and sirens activated responding to a person with a gun. The impact sent Nunez's SUV into a stopped car and two parked vehicles. This week, we spoke to the owner of one of those cars, a Volkswagen.
I feel very hurtful that they almost killed over 4 to 5 people. Thank God that did not happen. You know, us being civilians, you want us to hold up to the law. And I feel that the police officers are not above the law.
Despite the video, Chicago police maintained that Nunez hit them and she was cited for failing to yield to an emergency vehicle, driving without registration, and operating an uninsured car. Tia Ewing, Fox 32, Chicago.
Today marks the beginning of the 2026 fiscal year in Illinois, and with it, a slate of new taxes.
And as Illinoisans once again dig deeper to pay for things, the governor is railing about how expensive things here are.
We must reckon with the fact that everything is too damned expensive.
J.B. Pritzker at a campaign rally last week announcing his intention to seek a third term for governor. His 2026 fiscal year budget includes a slew of new taxes. Beginning today, Illinoisans will pay 48 cents per gallon to the state. Traditionally, gasoline taxes have gone to a secure lockbox used solely for road repairs and improvements. But according to the Illinois Policy Institute, lawmakers have other plans for the money this time around.
By not putting that money there in the first place, they effectively get to shortchange the road fund and get a bonus $170 million worth of revenue that should be going to pay for roads and bridges and infrastructure that they get to spend on a discretionary basis.
It's not just gas. The state tax on tobacco, vaping, and other nicotine products is rising from 36% to 45%. Starting today, all sports wagers will see a 25-cent new tax, which doubles to 50 cents for any sports book that sees more than $20 million in wagers. Phone bills are also going up from 7 to 8% to fund the 988 hotline and suicide prevention services.
From groceries to concert tickets to mortgages to cars to healthcare, we have created a world where one job isn't enough to raise kids, one salary not enough to own a home, and one lifetime of work not enough to earn retirement.
The governor is touting 7 consecutive balanced budgets since taking office. Yet according to the U.S. Census Bureau, the state has consistently lost residents during his tenure.
According to a recent survey from the University of Illinois, high taxes were the #1 reason why.
Your property taxes are more expensive. You're paying sales taxes for retailers on a wider variety of things, and for more retailers than ever are paying sales taxes. So we consistently see things that are going to increase the cost of living and push more people out of the state, despite this rhetoric.
If you'd like more information on the new laws, which take effect today, you can head to our website, fox32chicago.com.
Coming up, a chop shop taken down, staying safe from fireworks, and the local guy trying to beat Joey Chestnut.
This investigation started with a tip. Two men who we're told are just 18 and 20 years old have been arrested, and police are looking into a third suspect. At the same time, they're trying to determine how long this operation had been running.
Without that phone call from that individual, we may have not come across it at this time.
Hidden in plain sight, a police raid at a Bridgeview storage facility uncovers a treasure trove of stolen cars and auto parts. All thanks to a community member who picked up the phone when they saw something that didn't quite add up.
The hour, the time of day that they saw some movement within the storage facility, they thought it was a little odd.
Around 12:30 Monday morning, Bridgeview Police Chief Ricardo Mancha says his officers responded to the public storage site near Harlem and the Tri-State Tollway. And when they got there, they walked right into a potential sale.
We observed these individuals engaged with a few other individuals with car tires and whatnot.
As they began to investigate,
our officers looked in and they saw two partially disassembled vehicles, which kind of raised their suspicions.
Police then secured search warrants and across 5 storage units found a massive haul: 3 stolen cars, 5 engines, and various car parts.
Fenders, doors, mostly from high-end vehicles, SRTs, Hellcats, Camaros, Challengers.
2 men were arrested on the spot for allegedly running the illegal chop shop.
Bringing in vehicles that have been stolen or through other means obtained, and they're tearing them apart. They're taking the engines out, taking doors, fenders, and selling whatever parts that people are willing to buy. What they seem to be doing is selling it through the Facebook marketplace.
Chief Mancha says buyers most likely didn't realize the parts were stolen. Now, a tedious process begins.
So many serial numbers, we have to run each and every serial number.
Taking inventory and identifying who those stolen cars and parts belong to. All of those stolen parts have been taken into evidence. Charges against the suspects are still pending. We are told that the public storage site has been fully cooperative with this investigation.
They sure are pretty, but a group of experts are making sure that you're extra careful with fireworks when it comes to playing around this week and this weekend. Now, members of the Chicago Fire Department and medical experts at Comer Children's put on a demonstration to show how easy a firework mistake can turn tragic. In this scenario, the dummy was playing with sparklers a little too close to loose clothing, a common and easy mistake. It's the second highest result of injuries behind firecrackers. According to a pediatric surgeon at U Chicago Medicine Comer Children's Hospital, the 4th of July season turns out to be one of the busiest times for ER visits.
A lot of people don't realize that the reason that there's so many injuries and even fatalities because of these amateur fireworks is they're basically defective products. They come in from overseas. The width length is too small. They're packed with too much pyrotechnic content that it's allowed. And basically that's what happens when the person tries to light them. They're not going off correctly. There's a pause. They put their head over it.
It was a sparkler that caught my daughter's dress on fire when she was 5. She'll never be able to wear shorts or tank tops without her scars showing from the skin grafts.
Now, experts really suggest that we take advantage of those organized shows around the Chicagoland area instead of playing with fireworks by yourself.
Well, Chicago is gearing up for the 3rd NASCAR street race, taking over downtown all weekend. And this week, I caught up with NASCAR street race president Julie Giese to talk about the preparations for race weekend. Well, we are standing right outside of Buckingham Fountain, which is the epicenter of the Chicago NASCAR street race that'll be packed with fans in its third year this weekend. And we are joined by the street race president, Julie Giese. So excited to have you here with us on this very busy week for you. You announced the original street race back in 2022. Did you ever believe it would get to be in the third year?
It's pretty spectacular. It's great to be back, and it's great to have race week here in Chicago.
When you get ready for that green flag to drop come race day on Sunday, what are you most proud of when you see it all come together?
I think for me, it's seeing the two groups, NASCAR and the city of Chicago, come together and showcase the beauty of the city. Obviously, we're in Grant Park. I mean, it doesn't get much more beautiful than this. And then to be able to showcase our sport to a new audience of people that are attending.
Even when we walked up here to see the fountain with the skyline in the backdrop, I was like, oh my gosh, it really doesn't get much better than this. What impresses you every single year?
I mean, I think it's just seeing everything come together, how everyone comes together to put this event on. We have an amazing team here at NASCAR Chicago, but also an amazing partner with the city of Chicago. And each year we're getting better at it. We've taken another 2 weeks off of the build schedule this year, so the locals have noticed that and been obviously very appreciative.
What other things are fans going to experience this year that might be new for them?
So we still have our concert. That's going to be Saturday night, the Zach Brown Band, but we've added the Jesse White Tumblers. We have Chicago house music legend Chip Ease coming back. We have the Kids Zone, but one thing specifically, last year we had kids 12 and under free on Saturday. This year, kids 12 and under are free the entire weekend. So we really want the families to come out, enjoy the experience, enjoy Fan Plaza, the races, and everything that we have to offer.
Perhaps Joey Chestnut, the hot dog eating world champ, will meet his match this 4th. A Northwest Indiana kid is taking on the legend in the Nathan's Famous hot dog eating contest in Coney Island this Friday. Cameron Mead joins us live. Good morning to you, Cameron.
Morning, how are you?
I am good. So how many hot dogs can you eat in the allotted time frame during the practice rounds that you've done?
So I've gotten in the mid-30s in my practice round, and that's really, I would love to get in the high 30s for my Coney Island round this Friday, 4th of July.
I have so many questions for you. How did this eating challenge kind of thing start with you?
So when I was at school at IU Bloomington, a lot of my friends couldn't believe how much I was eating in the dining hall. So they took me around to buffets and all-you-can-eats around in Bloomington to see how much I could eat. And eventually they started TikTok for me, Cam Eats, and we were offered $500 to anyone who would come and challenge me to out-eat me. And after 8 contests, no one could beat me, and no one would even message me anymore to come challenge me. So that's when my friend said, you know what, you gotta enter the 4th of July Coney contest. So, and the pre-qualifier in Shawnee, I placed amazing and was able to qualify for the 4th of July contest this Friday.
This is exciting. So we're going to see you on television.
Yes, I will be there taking on Joey Chestnut 4th of July. Yep.
Well, we're going to be rooting for you. The local kid does good. Okay, so Cameron, what is your favorite food to eat for a contest?
Pancakes. Pancakes for sure, yep.
Okay, and then you say that you've been practicing. You told me how many hot dogs you've been eating.
Yes.
You have a strategy.
Yes, so I do 1 hot dog, split it in half, bun in the water, down that, and then keep on going, bun, hot dog, 1, 1, 1.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, and then do you have like a coach or somebody that's training you?
Yeah, so props to Mickey Sudo, the #1 women's eater in the world, 10-time champion. She has been so supportive of me, giving me so much help, advice.
Okay.
It's been phenomenal to have the best women's eater helping me, giving me advice. And then practice rounds, doing these once or twice a week. My parents have been awesome, setting it all up, doing timers, cooking all the dogs, getting everything set up. It's a lot of practice that goes into it.
You know, who knew? And
yeah.
so the day of the actual eating contest, what is your routine? Do you eat that morning?
No.
Do you eat the night before?
So I'm at least 2 days fasted, if not 3 days fasted before. Just water, tea, electrolytes, tons of electrolytes. So the training involves a lot of chugging of water, like a lot of that just expand my stomach beforehand, and then a lot of training, working out beforehand, cardio, to make sure that the 10,000 plus calories I'm consuming, I can try to keep off as much as possible.
Wow, and then afterward, are you getting sick?
No, I'm not getting sick afterwards. No, I try to walk as much as I can to not just let all that food build up in my stomach, but I'm not getting sick, no.
So you've had no like digestive issues from this?
No, I think it's because I'm the youngest competitor. I'm 21. There's no one even close to me out there, so I'm able to recover quickly, and I'm energetic. I'm really excited to be here, and I think that gives me an advantage actually, because there's really no one close to me in age at all up there. So I feel like I can recover quickly from these challenges and get back at it the next day. So.
Do you ever get sick of hot dogs?
A little bit, but Nathan's hot dogs are really good. I do have to say that, so I don't mind eating them.
Okay, well, Cameron, best of luck to you.
Thank you
Okay,
so
we're going to be
much.
rooting for you on the 4th of July. You can see him at the Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Championship alongside Joey Chestnut.
Yes.
Go Northwest Indiana. We're going to do this thing. I can feel it.
Coming up, rev your engines and your stomach for NASCAR. Where are all the Fireflies? And ChatGPT may be making you dumber.
But if you are going to the race, you do not have to go with an empty stomach. There's going to be some great eats available at this year's event, which includes 20 Chicago area restaurants. Joining us this morning with a preview is Stephen Mock, the Senior Vice President of Culinary for Levy. Thanks so much for being here.
Hey, thanks for having me. This is great. And this is Levy. This is our backyard. So we're more than happy to be here with you today.
So what's new to the menu for this year's NASCAR street race compared to maybe the first 2 years?
Yeah, sure. So, first and foremost, with this being our backyard, we wanted to bring some of our concepts in that were local. A couple of our restaurants, a couple of our partner vendors on the in the Chicagoland area, and then we wanted to incorporate some of our premium dishes that Levy does really well throughout our suites, our clubs, and our other programs throughout. So, I mean, kind of jumping right in, I just want to talk about Jake's, Jake Melnick's. If you know Chicago, you know Jake Melnick's, best wing. It almost wins year after year. This is a specialty wing sauce that we're running just for the race. It's called a Wingy City barbecue, which is technically Alabama white barbecue sauce tossed in there. Nice jumbo, crispy wings. It's very valuable, especially when you're getting something down at a race like this. It's easy to eat. It's handheld. It's perfect. And then I want to talk about River Roast, one of our other restaurants that are local here in town. This pork belly bites. These are nice, crispy pork belly bites. It has a jalapeno jam, Fresno peppers, cilantro on top. Great
like
little.
A piece of art too.
Thank you. It's beautiful, right? And then talking about a couple of our concepts, our partnerships that we work with is Bronzeville Winery, good partnership with ours. They're going to have a booth as well that they'll be selling a lot of their food out of, multiple items, but I just want to showcase a few things out there. Of course, there's probably 100+ items. I can't get it all on this table, so I brought in some of the ones that I thought would do really well. And then we have Josephine's, which is another local concept with the shrimp boil, and they have an elote nacho with a jerk chicken on it. Really killer combination. And then we have a couple of our really unique items here we're doing in the clubs and the premium suite areas, if you will, which is an esquite, which is an elote, if you're familiar with it, cut off the corn. And then we have a tequila lime-infused grilled chicken with poblanos, roasted corn, working with our vendors like Jose Cuervo, Jack Daniels, Liquid Death. A lot of these concepts we're infusing into the food and just having a great time with it.
Now, we know Chicago is a foodie city. We got 77 different neighborhoods that all have their own different vibes. How did you go about choosing how to represent the city of Chicago food-wise when it comes to the street race?
You bet. So first and foremost, we listen to the people, right? Reviews tell everything. So we dig deep, we do our research, we find out who's best, who loves what. We bring in, the partnerships that, make sense for us. Meaning, local. They use local products. They use local farmers. They use things that are local inside it. And really, it tells a good food story for us.
Now, we know with different sports, they kind of have food that kind of correlates with it, like maybe wings and beer if you're watching a football game. Is there any foods that scream NASCAR?
Oh, wings, pork belly bites, sliders, nachos. We got, of course, we have your traditional hot dogs, and you'll have your pizzas out there as well. But you would think NASCAR, a lot of uniqueness with the food here. It's rustic, it's local, and it's just full of flavor.
Now, for all of these different food items, there's just so many. Where are they throughout the weekend? Are they kind of be spread out? Sure. Are they all in one location? Can you give our viewers an idea about that?
I made it easy for you. If you can find the fountain, you can find the food.
Oh, I like that. And if somebody's looking for more information, or if somebody's maybe visiting for the first time, what do you hope that they experience at the race food-wise?
Sure. Local, first of all. You know, they get that Chicago taste. I know we got a lot of visitors in and out of town. I'm sure we're going to see a lot of out-of-towners. We really want them to experience the uniqueness of Chicago. And most importantly, Levy. You know, this is our backyard. We want to make sure that people understand who Levy is, what we do, and what we're about.
May have to grab one of these.
I hope you do.
I appreciate your time. And
my pleasure. Thank you.
Remember when we were kids and the night was filled with fireflies, or maybe you called them lightning bugs? Well, now their numbers are fading, and not just here in our area, but nationwide.
In this exclusive report, Dane Placco is asking the Peggy Notebart Museum why the population may be dropping.
What is it about fireflies that capture our imagination?
I mean, they glow. They're bioluminescent. They're found throughout the eastern U.S., so many people interact with them.
Indeed, it wouldn't be summer without fireflies. But entomologists say that nationwide, some species of the beloved luminescent beetle are in decline.
And they're finding a significant proportion of them are either vulnerable or threatened due to a series of issues, namely habitat loss and degradation, pesticide use, climate change, and light pollution.
Here in the Chicago area, there appears to be a bumper crop this year thanks to a wet spring. Mostly the common eastern firefly, also known as the Big Dipper, because of the patterns they fly to attract a mate. But there are 26 firefly species in Illinois, and some are struggling.
We only have so many fireflies. We can't lose them all. And this is also a spectacular phenomenon. If we don't have these here in Illinois, we're not going to see any glowing insects. They really are quite special.
The firefly larvae live in grassy or leafy areas for up to 2 years before they hatch and turn on the lights, mating, laying eggs, and dying in just a matter of weeks. A community science website called Firefly Atlas allows you to track and count the fireflies in your yard and report the results to a nationwide database that will be used to assess the health of the species.
What can people do to help keep these alive?
Oh yeah, so really easily you can limit your use of pesticides. You can try and plant a native garden or any garden. And then you can leave your leaves in the fall. Don't rake them all up or mulch them in place with a mower. And lastly, limit light pollution.
And he says their ability to glow is actually being used in many new technologies, many new scientific pursuits, including gene editing and DNA sequencing. So it's important they stick around.
No one's dumb enough to go where we're going.
This island was the research facility for the original Jurassic Park.
We need DNA from the 3 biggest dinosaurs.
Do we have to get a sample from an egg?
I suppose we could try and get it from the parent, but they're a flying carnivore the size of an F-16.
Maybe we should make it quick.
Well, right, the 7th installment of the Jurassic Park franchise is coming out this Wednesday. It is called Jurassic World Rebirth, and its story follows a covert mission to a forbidden island, which was once used for dinosaur research. Of course, Jake got a chance to speak with all the stars.
I know that like me, you grew up, you were a massive fan of these movies, and I'd love to know, just as an actor, what is a moment from that first movie, that '93 Spielberg classic, that as an actor you would have loved to have been in, just to know what it would have been like to be in that moment?
I think it's the first time when they all see.
That when Sam Neill turns Laura Dern's head to look at the field of Brontosaurus.
He turns the head of Lorna Dern.
Oh, you want to do the Alan Grant?
Yeah.
Sunglasses. Take the glasses.
Yeah,
you gotta take the glasses off.
I would have loved to have done the scene where Julianne Moore is like treating.
Oh, you're going Lost World.
Yeah. So with the scene where she's treating the dinosaur inside the camper, like that just looked, and it was a whole animatronic. You know, I'm sure at the time probably it was less magical because it was a lot of like, wait, the animatronic's not working, and like we have to reset and whatever. But it looked just so amazing. I would have liked to have done that.
What scratched my brain as a kid was the Jellos. I mean, it was terrifying, but I just thought to break into a kitchen and to be able to eat whatever you want. Yeah. But then to be hunted by
all that ice cream, but for 2 minutes, and then you see the Velociraptor.
To be one of those kids in the first movie and to be able to be like, he left us?
He left us. He left us.
Probably being tipped over in the Jeep and just, you know, trying to survive that section.
Yes.
I think it'd, you know, be fun as a kid to be a little scared.
Oh, the car moment's
Running from the
amazing.
T-Rex, and you see the T-Rex obviously in the rear mirror. Like,
yeah.
Dude, like that has left such a lasting impression.
Between the two of you, who delivers the best hold on to your butts?
Hold on to your butts.
Who says it?
Sam Jackson.
Sam Jackson
Yeah.
says, hold on to your
Hold
butts.
on to your butts.
Hold on to your. I mean, who can beat that accent? You know, that English accent is impossible.
That lawyer had it coming.
Yeah, he's
Oh,
right, like,
he abandoned them. He left them.
He left them. He left the kids.
he left them and he got the porta potty.
He got the porta potty.
Not even a classy death.
No.
Like the porta potty
no,
death.
just a straight.
He deserved it.
That's
claw.
yeah.
That's the scene we were just talking about a second ago, right? Well, Jurassic World Rebirth, the movie opens in theaters on Wednesday, July 2nd.
Going to be a good one. And Jake got the Chicago exclusive on those interviews, so that's
Scarlett
huge for us.
Johansson's in that. I gotta watch it.
Just don't take the kids.
No.
All right.
Is it bad for the brain? Well, that is according to research out of MIT that conducted a 4-month-long Your Brain on Chat GPT study. They found that people who relied on Chat GPT for writing underperformed at neural, linguistic, and behavioral levels. So, joining me now is Michael Bennett. He's Associate Vice Chancellor for Data Science and Artificial Intelligence Strategy at the University of Illinois, Chicago. Michael studies the impact of AI, which we know it's coming in like a steamroller. So, first of all, confirm for us that you are not actually AI right now, Michael.
I can neither confirm nor deny.
He looks real to me. All right, how nervous do we need to be about a study like this and the fact that ChatGPT might be doing something really negative to our brains?
Minimally, if at all. This is a preliminary study. The researchers were so concerned with the initial results of their work that they forewent the typical process for releasing papers of this.
So they rushed it to publication,
they did,
saying, okay.
And arguably for very good reason. Typically with research of this type, you should expect that there would be a rigorous peer review process during which the research would be shared with the entire world effectively, and researchers with expertise in the domains that were studied would tear that research apart and find every potential flaw in it. That set of processes was skipped in this instance because the researchers were so concerned with what they thought they were seeing. They acknowledged this as well to their
Getting it fast as opposed to making sure they got it right.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
You've obviously looked at this thing. What's your first blush take on this?
My sense is that we need to be technological Reaganites when it comes to this research. What
do you mean by that?
We should trust but confirm.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So this research seems to suggest that individuals who write essays using large language models as opposed to those who write simply using their brains or using what's now becoming passé and old school search engines like Google's, that those individuals who use LLMs wind up feeling much lower senses of ownership in the work that's produced. They have less recall of what was actually included in the essay.
So they're learning less.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. In a sense, who's surprised by this, right? Like if
Probably
you turn,
nobody. Yeah.
Exactly. If you turn over responsibility in large part for writing to another human, much less a machine, it seems pretty obvious that you're not going to recall much of what's included in the essay and the writing, or have a deep understanding of the topic that was written about. And so in some senses, this is a common sense result. But at the same time, again, there's severe limitations on this study. Dr. Kozmina, the lead researcher on this
At
out of
MIT.
Exactly, and her colleagues who are, I believe, at Mass Art in Boston as well as Wesleyan University there, they're very clear about the limitations on this research. Unfortunately, the research arrives at a time in which we have reduced capacity for nuanced understanding of science. We have incredible sets of pressures bearing down on institutions who, under normal circumstances, would have absorbed this technology and restated it for us. And so we're getting kind of hysterical reads of it, in my opinion.
Some of your research is focused on societal implications of emerging technologies like big data. What are we learning about that?
So my sense, and this is not mine alone, this is in collaboration with my wonderful colleagues at the University of Illinois at Chicago.
Share the love, share the love.
Indeed. Well deserved, well deserved. Our sense is that we're at the opening, we're experiencing the opening moments of this, the data age, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
The rate at which the new technologies and their broader implications for society are rolling out are, just as you noted at the front of this segment, accelerating. AI seems to be accelerating everything.
It sure does, yeah.
At this point. And so one of the most important things we can do right now at research institutions like ours is make sure, and we're committed to this, we need to make sure that all of our undergraduates, all of our students really, wind up acquiring a deep sense of AI and data fluency before they graduate, so that they understand both the potential applications of the technology, how they can use it to be more effective in their work.
Positively? Yeah.
Exactly, and have a better life, but also the limitations on the technology. So that's one of the key requirements.
10 seconds, though. How do you stop a steamroller like AI, or do we even want to?
It's very difficult. Stopping it would require incredible fortitude among all leaders in not just the United States, but certainly here where so much of the AI research is taking place, but around the world. That seems unlikely to happen.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure that we would want to stop it either.
That's probably a good point there. Yeah,
Exactly.
We can't and we may not want to.
Exactly.
So yeah.
There are a lot of potential upsides.
Well, Michael Bennett, that I think you gave us a little, moment of pause there. What sounded like a really kind of a scary study. You're saying there's some truth there, but don't jump off the deep end yet. Michael Bennett, thanks so much for coming in and being the real guy here today. Brian, back to you.
The TikTok dad we all want to cook like. And the future of the new Pope's house on the South Side.
We want shish kebabs? Let's make them. Got these beautiful fillets from my guy. Let's make the marinade. Quarter cup soy, quarter cup Worcestershire, quarter cup olive oil, tablespoon of Dijon mustard. How about some garlic? As much as you like.
Yesterday. Right? We're so excited to have social media royalty back in the house this morning. Chicago dad and TikTok sensation Daryl Pastonek, known as Cooking with Daryl, is back here to show us some of his favorite summer recipes. Thanks so much for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me back.
What have you been
I
up to lately since the last time I saw you in here?
Well, making some summer snacks, especially for the holiday. To me, this is a perfect meal, casual. You can make it as a appetizer, or last night we had it for dinner.
Okay.
So yeah, I've got some bruschetta, I've got some prosciutto, and some burrata.
Okay.
And then we get some grilled bread, and we put it all together.
Now, you said this is a very typical, I guess, Italian dish. How do you put your own spin on this?
Yeah, so with this recipe, actually my neighbor is the one who turned me on to this.
Okay.
But not only do you use the Roma tomatoes, but and basil, quite a bit of it.
Okay.
But I put, in addition to olive oil, I put some light white wine in there.
Oh,
and it's kind of the way it really seasons it up nice, lets it sit, and it just makes it so delicious.
All right. You said you're going to put me to work.
I'm going to put you to work. I need you to dice those up.
Okay. So I usually start in the middle.
Yeah, you do any way you want.
Okay.
So as he's dicing them up, we've got everything else we need. Once he dices it and puts it in the bowl, generous salt and pepper.
Generous.
Generous basil, and I've got my own little basil plant in the yard, so this is all fresh basil from the yard.
How fine do we?
Oh, that looks great. That looks great.
Looks like I know what I'm doing.
And actually, that could be good. Put that in there.
All right. We'll just
There you
over
go.
here. I've done this once or twice.
You've done it, yeah. It's not your first time. So then we put it here. So picture this is fully, loaded. No, we'll just go like that. So that's loaded. We're going to take a little bit of olive oil.
Okay.
And we're going to coat it. All right. We get some salt and pepper.
Salt and pepper. All right. You said just a little bit, right?
Oh, yeah.
A
A
little
generous.
Okay.
Yeah. There we go.
I can be a little heavy-handed sometimes when it comes to the salt now.
And then we do the white wine.
Oh, okay.
And we do it to enough just to kind of cover it so you can see the finished product. You can see it's kind of.
Now, is there any kind of specific white wine we should be using?
This is just a light Italian white wine. That's perfect.
Okay.
Perfect. So again, if this was full, you got that marinating in there, and then the basil.
Basil.
That's the kicker right there.
Just dump the whole thing. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, you can go generous. It's a great flavor.
Ooh, I'm starting to smell the flavors kind
Right.
of like pairing together.
So there's the bruschetta. That's
Okay.
going to be done. We let that sit. Don't have to put it in the fridge. Room temperature's fine.
Yep.
And then, of course, we got the prosciutto.
Yes.
So love prosciutto. What I like to do,
So light.
oh, isn't it great? Is I kind of let it just fall to the plate.
Okay.
And then what we do is a little bit of olive oil on there.
Oh, on the.
Oh yeah, just a little bit. And this little cool contraption, you can actually just spray it.
Oh wow. I've
Right,
never
so
seen
you
that
spray it
before.
with a little
Okay.
olive oil. We'll get a little Parmesan cheese,
Yep.
a little sprinkle,
Let's see.
and then we top it with a little basil just to add the color.
A lot of. So this is all fresh.
All
ingredients.
fresh. Yep, everything was fresh. Perfect.
Okay.
A little basil, just to color it up.
Yep. Now you say this could be an appetizer or the
Summer
whole
snack,
thing?
walk around. You don't have to sit down. We actually had it as a meal, and then of
Oh, what
course
we
we
got
got some.
here?
This is the burrata. So
Okay.
we've got a full burrata
Right.
there. I do a little slice down the middle, little olive oil.
see some more
little
basil in there.
basil.
Yep.
Yeah, you see the theme?
Yep.
There's the theme. And then what we do, I just took some baguette.
And we're like
Grilled
putting it
it?
all together. Okay.
Yeah.
You're putting butter on there
Oh,
before.
no, little oil.
Just a
Sprayed
little
little
oil.
bit of oil on here just to get the nice crisp. But then all we do is we take some of the burrata.
Oh boy. Everybody in the
Spread it
newsroom's
in
gonna be
there.
eating this
Oh,
up.
yeah. And then we go. Oh, let's do this. And we get the
little spoon.
bruschetta.
Action.
Yeah, a little slotted spoon because this is you got some good liquid in there.
Don't cheat us on it now.
Oh, no. And then we put a little of that.
And it looks like a piece of art
prosciutto.
almost.
Oh, so you don't even, almost don't
Love
want to
the
eat
sandwich,
it.
yeah. It's pretty.
And there you go.
This looks so good.
So you get your plate. Perfect.
I got to
Great
talk, or
summer
else I would
meal.
take a big bite out of this.
You're gonna need a
this
napkin. I don't
morning.
want it
Yeah,
dripping
for
on your
sure,
tie.
right? So if somebody's looking for more of these recipes, where can they find it?
Got my book out. I've got a lot of appetizers, meals, great summer feasts are in here. So you can get my book online through the link in my bio. And here's another great thing you could do with this bruschetta when
Okay.
you're done. You want to make some pasta?
Ah.
You throw this in a pan with some spaghetti.
Because I was going to
It's
ask,
already done.
what would pair well with this if somebody wanted something a little bit more hearty?
I would probably get a nice piece of protein, whether it's
Okay.
some grilled chicken, maybe some salmon.
Instead of
Yeah,
making
you
this
talked about
weekend.
salmon this weekend. Maybe even a little steak.
All right.
Yeah.
Daryl, thanks so much for
Thank
your
you
time.
so much, Brian. I appreciate
I
it.
appreciate it. I'll be snacking in the break. Time is now 9:48. We'll be right back.
Yeah, there are a lot of questions about the future of this Pope Leo's boyhood home, which had been on the market, in fact, was supposed to be sold when he was elevated to Pope back in May. Well, tonight we have some clarity. In about an hour, Dalton Village trustees are going to be meeting, and part of the agenda calls for a plan to buy this house, which is becoming something of a major tourist attraction. What brought you here today?
The Pope. The White Sox fan Pope.
Every single day since Pope Leo's elevation, a steady stream of visitors comes to this humble home on 141st Place in Dalton.
It's like a house we would have, you know, when we were growing up.
Yeah, that's the house we had like
It's,
that.
it's a connection.
Why is it important for you to see
I was
this?
born and raised Catholic.
Now, after a brief legal skirmish, the village of Dalton has cut a deal to purchase Pope Leo's boyhood home from the developer who recently rehabbed the home.
Tonight, we're asking the Board of Trustees to approve the purchase of the home and begin the process of our next phases of planning.
Dalton Mayor Jason House would not disclose the purchase price, but said it would be a fair deal for both the developer, who was trying to cash in on the home's sudden history, and taxpayers.
We feel that we've done something that's in the taxpayers' best interest. Of course, we've always talked about honoring the Archdiocese as well, so we want to make sure we're doing justice for all included. It's going to be a benefit to the village of Dalton, and I think it's really a treasure.
The mayor says they're looking at possibly making the home the centerpiece of an historic district, which would tell visitors the story of Robert Prevost and his family. The family owned the home for nearly 50 years. Today, workers from a Chicago construction company are busy replacing the roof, donating their services, and a new sign telling the home's history.
Well, it's definitely meaningful and very
very humbling, right, to have the opportunity to donate our services to the community of Dalton, not only for the impact that he has on the community, but also on the neighbors here.
And after years of negative headlines surrounding the chaotic reign of former Mayor Tiffany Henyard, village leaders are hoping ownership of the Pope's boyhood home will be a blessing for Dalton's fortunes.
We've seen the beginnings of the interest that's out there. There have been some charters that have come through town. We want to make sure that we're representing that properly. And I think we're in the infancy phases of what could be the rebirth of many great things in Dalton.
This has been your Fox 32 Weekend Review. See you next week.